learn our language because we don't try to learn yours. Is there anything we can do to learn your language?
Smell the roses as a popularization of something.
I find she's great about explaining it to me when I ask. Like, I was misinterpreting some of her movements, and she'd like, I handed her the proceedings of the recent IMFAR conference. We were just up in Seattle, the International Meeting for Autism Research, and Amanda did this, and I didn't know if that was get that away from me or I'm happy. And so I took it away from her thinking, uh-oh, did I offend you by giving you this? And actually she was happy about it and explained to me that that was a happy thing, that this was a happy thing.
To see if Amanda wants to respond. Or do you want to record to the voice?
Oh, she wants to play it.
Yeah. Go.
Well, one thing is that Dave Hingsberger has talked about how if you're dealing with someone who has no standard communication system, you're really dealing with a linguistic minority of one, and you're going to have to be looking at when they do things and making a lot of guesses and in fact often trying to look at different aspects of what they are doing than you might expect in a typical person. Try to drop your assumptions. Try to get around a wide enough variety of other autistic people who do have the ability to explain assorted things. Try to see your environment as more than just a bunch of assorted blank spaces with a few interesting spots, and look at the whole thing and see what someone might be reacting to. Try not to make too many assumptions. Like when I was on CNN, the reporter came in and I went to the other side of the room and stared out the window, which was in direct acknowledgement of her presence, and I would not have been doing this if she was not there. But she she took it as showing no sign that she was in the room. You have to start looking at other aspects of our environment than you normally would and different possible reasons for what we do than you normally would do what you do for. And that takes a lot of time and getting to know a lot of people who might have things more analogous going on to what the person who you are talking to has going on than to what you do.
Oh, that's better.
Yeah. We want to get this on tape.
Hi, I really appreciated your remarks, and I had the impression in getting the echoes of the debate between you and the Autism Speaks people that they hear of you but do not listen to you. And I'm wondering if you've ever, in fact, had the experience of being in a situation where they actually had to hear what you had to say as opposed to hearing the presuppositions and expectations of perhaps what even the phrase joy of autism evokes for them. The projections that they might make to that phrase as opposed to actually listening to your message and hearing what you have to say, and your, I think, very profound critique of their fundraising film and your perspective, which is, I'm living with my child, I'm not driving off the Brooklyn Bridge or any other bridge, and in fact, I don't speak of wanting to suicide myself and my child in front of my child. I mean, and on and on and on and on.
So what's
and that
your
would be an aggression.
question?
My question is, have you had any such experiences? And if so, what happens during them?
Experiences of which? Wanting to drive over?
No. Where you and the Autism Speak people actually speak
Communicated.
to each other as opposed to hear of each other and talk past each other. And what do they say when they confront you?
No, but when I was corporate chair of NAR, Glenn Tringali came to Toronto and asked me to become chair of NAR in Toronto. And I had said to him, look, I can't do this. I have to do this more positive type of outlook and empower people because I can't, can't go on and on like that. And I would want to raise a different kind of message. It didn't pan out. And I was invited to do an autism podcast, and I was expressing some of my views about that kind of marketing. And I'm assuming they've heard of me. Never heard anything back from them. I'd love to be able to, open up a dialogue. I think they try to on their website, but it still fails because it's still not dealing with the issue at hand. Autistics are offended by their marketing message, and a lot of parents feel disempowered with this message.
Have you made efforts to, of course your work is an effort, but to, what would it take to directly try to reach this organization and the very powerful people? You're right, because of the Wright's prior position, he reaches a lot of very powerful people who I think would be moved by your kind of deconstruction and analysis of the fundraising film. And
well, it's there. It's on the blog, and it's
right.
in the blogosphere. They have access to it. Go ahead.
I have a little bit of experience in that regard because